Hey everyone, Eric here from Tattoo Collectables. This week, we've got one package to show you that we got in the mail. And honestly, a lot of you will not like what's in this package. Keep watching. What's in the mail? So, hello, and welcome back to Tattoo Collectables. This week on What's in the Mail, we got this one package from Brooklyn, and the guy that was selling it was adamant about getting it out of his shop. And you'll see why. Like I said in the intro, not everybody's gonna enjoy particularly what this is. But there's a very specific reason I bought it. Because personally, I'm not an enormous fan of the content of this flash. But it came from Jersey Phil's Tattoo Madness in New Jersey. These are official tattoo brand flash, and anybody that was tattooing between 1980 and the year 2000 probably paid the rent and bought their first motorcycle with this flash. This is J.D. Crowe flash, and all of it is Confederate soldier kind of stuff. Every one of them has some sort of rebel flag on it. Now these rebel flag designs, as far as how they're drawn and how they look, they're wonderful. They're easily tattooed, and this is from Street Fever, Broadway Antiques and More. The reason I popped on these, and like I said, I'm not a particularly huge fan of the content, but they are extremely well drawn. They all come from J.D. Crowe, all come from official tattoo brand, and they're all marked as to the place that they were. So as far as tattoo history goes, this is definitely a piece of tattoo history. Now, a lot of people are taking them down right now because they don't particularly like the rebel flag. Here's what I think. I think that taking these down in this day and age might be a good thing, but throwing them away is definitely not. Because these, in the future, these will be the hard ones to get. These will be the rare ones because they are so controversial right now. Guys are taking them down and just throwing them in the trash. Luckily, the guy that sold me these was like, look, I don't want them in my shop. First person to offer me money for them takes them. So I got these for 20 bucks. All four of them cost me $20. They're all on heavy board, which is nice. And they're all laminated. Chances are, again, these are contact sheets. This doesn't feel like lamination. So, but yeah, in the 80s and 90s, they did contact sheets rather than laminate them. And I think they're wonderful. Like I said, one day these will be super sought after and hard to find because so many people are taking them down and discarding them. Now, another reason that I bought these, it's a funny story. So, back when I was first starting in the 90s, I had a gentleman come in, and he wanted this piece right here, which is, it's whatever, it's whatever you think. So, he asked me though if I could make the hair blonde and put his wife's name underneath it. And I asked him, even at the time, I said, have you discussed this with your wife yet? He said, no, but I think she's gonna love it. I think she'll love the fact that I got her name on it. So I was telling that story for 20 years. One day I'm telling that story to a young man who was talking about getting something on him similar. And I told him the story, and he goes, oh, that's so-and-so's dad in the next booth. And I'm like, settle down, it is not so-and-so's father. And he's like, well, was the name underneath it blah, blah, blah? And I was like, it was. Turns out it was the guy in the next booth's father. I had tattooed him when he was 18, and now his kid was old enough to come in and get tattooed as I was telling this story. So the kid in the next booth picks up his cell phone, calls his father, and says, hey, I found the guy that originally did your tattoo. And I told him originally, I said, if you want, I said, if the wife is upset, come back, we'll put a bra on the female. And he said, oh no, she's gonna love it. Well, turns out she did not love it. So here 20 years later, he comes into the shop and he's like, I've been looking for you for 20 years. I think it's high time we put a bra on this. And his wife was there and she could not have agreed more. So that's one of the reasons I bought this flash, because I have a story from my past that involves one of the pieces. But again, like this is all official tattoo brand, and it's actually from 1992. I just saw the date on them there. So let's see this one. Yeah, they're all well, they're not all dated, but some of them definitely are. So 1992 was when these sheets were made. Don't get hung up on what flash is, because the further back you go, the less filter flash had on it. The 70s has some really bad stuff. The 30s and 40s had some pretty racy stuff on it too. Now those sheets are $1,500 to $2,000 a sheet. Some of them even more than that, depending on who drew them. These will be the same way. These sheets, like I said, I paid $20 for all 4 of them. Mainly because he just didn't want them. Didn't want them hanging out. And in Brooklyn, where he's located, I can see why. These are not big sellers, I guarantee it. But now you go somewhere, maybe down south further, they may be more popular even today. But definitely later on, these are going to be one of those, they were lost to history, unless somebody saves them. So if you do have these up in your shop and you don't care for them, and you want to take them down, I'd say take them down, put them somewhere, store them in a back room, and then one day when your kids or when your now apprentice owns your shop and is taking over for you, they're gonna open a drawer and be like, wow, he saved these, I can't believe it. These are now worth $2-3 grand a sheet. It will definitely take time for them to be worth that, but for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put an estimate on these of $25 to $50 a sheet, depending on what kind of shape they're in. And with me, if they have prices on them, I like them even better. Now, these actually don't have, like 2 of these don't have prices on them at all. They strip the prices off. But a couple of them, you can see where the price dots were. There's still a couple price dots left on here. Now, what they did, it looks like they did a color price chart, which was super common back in the day, and it was actually a really smart way to do it. What you would do is you would put different colored dots. Like this one would be a yellow one. They probably took off the blue ones or whatever color they used. But they would have a small chart in their shop somewhere that would say the yellow ones are this much, and the blue ones are this much, and the green ones are this much. And they did that so they could raise or lower their prices just by changing one sheet instead of having to change every sheet in the shop. A lot of places actually put prices on them and regretted it. You'll get some sheets with multiple stickers over them where it started off as $10 and now it's $100 and now it's $150. So this was probably the smartest way to do it. And if any of y'all are wondering why these are on board and not just laminated, the boards were made so you could put them up on the wall and display them. And then when somebody was like, I'll take this fancy Southern Belle here on my arm, you would take this off of the wall, you would go to the corresponding sheet, and you would pull the outline sheet. But that's it made them a little sturdier. If you just laminated these or just put them up with thumbtacks, eventually, and you can tell the guys that did, because the corners of these will be gone. The thumbtacks, a couple hundred times, you never hit that same spot, and then it all of a sudden has perforated your corner right out of your piece. So if you are going to display flash in your shop, definitely put it up on a board. It'll definitely weather better as time goes on. So that is this week for What's in the Mail. In the future, in the very near future, I'm going to do a JD Crow episode. I am currently trying to get a hold of JD Crow, so if anybody out there is watching, personally knows him, have him give me a call. And hopefully you all have enjoyed this, and like I said, when you see him, grab him. Hope everybody's week is going terrific. Mine is going fantastic. So, until next week, y'all stay safe out there and keep on collecting.